Hello boys and girls, Miss Lawrence is back here to read a new story with you guys today. And today's story is The Adventures of Gary and Harry, A Tale of Two Turtles. So this book is intended for second and third graders. And one thing that I really want you guys to think about is take from the story is where are places that you guys throw trash and don't necessarily think about what they could be affecting or harming, in other words, without you really even thinking about it. How many times have you seen somebody, or if you've personally thrown trash out the window, like thinking it was, oh, it's in the woods, it's fine, or thrown trash into the water thinking, oh, it's fine. Think about all of those animals that are living in those habitats that trash could potentially harm. So that's one thing that I want you guys to think about while reading the story, and that's what I want you guys to take away from it. So before getting started, I have a couple questions to ask you guys. So by looking at the title, the cover of this book, what kind of adventures do you think Gary and Harry are going to go on while reading the story? And my next question is, can you tell what kind of turtles Gary and Harry are just by looking at the illustration on the cover? Are they the same? Are they different? If you ask me, this turtle is a little darker than this one, so I think they are different turtles. Although I don't know much about them and the different types of turtles that there are, I'm curious to see if they are the same type of turtle or different. So let's find out. So Gary and Harry. Deep in the sparkling sea, Gary the sea turtle and his best friend, Harry the hawksbill turtle, played in their ocean home. Each day, they would swim to the surface and happily dive beneath the waves. Okay, so did you listen with your ears? I think I heard what type of turtles they are. So, what kind of turtle did they say Gary was? And what kind of turtle did they say Harry is? All right, let's keep moving. So Gary and Harry loved their carefree life in the sea and liked to visit their many ocean friends, like Olivia the octopus, Lori the lobster, and even Herman, the grumpy old hermit crab, who was really nothing but a big softy under that old crusty shell. For Gary and Harry, each day was a great underwater adventure. Some days they would explore deep into dark underwater caverns. So there's one adventure that they've went on. Other days they would search for long-lost treasures buried deep in the hulls of old sunken ships. Look, it looks like they found a gem. When they wanted a good laugh, they would visit the crazy clownfishes who performed in Harold's Shrimp Spectacular Sea Circus. One day, after their morning adventure, Gary and Harry were especially hungry. As always, it was difficult deciding what to have for lunch since they had very different tastes in food. How about a salty seaweed salad? Made of fresh algae, Gary suggested. Algae? Yuck! Harry replied, making a face. I'd rather have a nice, tasty jellyfish. His wish had been answered, for suddenly a school of jellyfish floated by. Whoa, look at all those jellyfish! Harry quickly swam to the largest one and swallowed it. One big gulp. Gary expected to hear a satisfied ah, but instead, Harry responded with a terrified, so, what are some things that turtles eat in the ocean? And what are some other things that they might possibly be able to eat in the ocean that wasn't mentioned? All right, well, let's get going. Ack! Harry was gasping and choking. That was no jellyfish he had swallowed. It was a plastic bag. Harry knew many sea turtles had died from choking on plastic bags, but he never once thought it would happen to him. Harry desperately tried everything to remove the plastic bag, but it just wouldn't come out. His life flashed before him. Luckily, Gary had just completed his turtle safety class, and by using the Heimlich maneuver, the plastic bag flew right out from Harry's throat. Whew! That was close, Harry said while catching his breath. How did a plastic bag get in the ocean anyways? How else, Gary answered. The humans. Well, they need to be more careful to keep their trash out of our homes, Harry said angrily. Gary couldn't agree more. Suddenly, Harry's stomach rumbled. All the excitement worked up his appetite. Well, I'm starving, he told Gary. Let's get lunch. Just then, a beautiful jellyfish floated by. Look, Harry, just what you wanted. Lunch! Do you think he's going to eat the jellyfish? After what Harry had been through, suddenly jellyfish didn't seem very appealing. Maybe I'll just try one of those salty seaweed salads. Gary's face quickly lit up. Well, I know the perfect place to go, he said excitedly. And with a flick of their flappers, they quickly dove through the crystal blue water, eager to enjoy a nice, delicious, relaxing lunch. The end. That was such a good story, and I loved all the adventures that Gary and Harry took us on. Did you think the story was going to end like that? Because I didn't. So, I want to leave you guys with a couple questions just to think about. So, think of a time that you have been to a beach. And if you haven't been to a beach, think of a time you have been in a place where animals live, whether it was, kayaking on a river or swimming in the lake or, at the beach or going for a hike in the forest. Have you ever littered? Or have you ever seen somebody else litter? So, with keeping that in mind, what are some ways that you could help prevent the whole idea of an animal possibly, say, let's take our story for example, say, how could you prevent the turtle from choking on trash that was thrown into the ocean by a human? How could you fix that, and what could you do? That's what I want you guys to think about, and that's what I want you guys to take away from today's lesson. So, with further ado, I'm going to see you guys later, and I cannot wait to read another story with you guys. Bye, guys!